Welcome back, everybody. I hope you found the international perspectives insightful. I certainly did. Now I know we're not running a hybrid event, we're an omni-channel event. So that was my big takeaway from Mike Dominguez, which I now need to change all of our literature and all of our branding accordingly, which I think is going to take a bit of time, but one for you, Becky. So this session is hopefully us as the organizers trying to kind of offload the information that we've learned and the processes that we've been through in putting this together. So hopefully you can go and do it better yourselves. Obviously, these people up on stage here and the two people that we will have virtually as well are amazing. And certainly I couldn't have delivered this event without their help. So firstly, as a personal huge thank you to these guys for really supporting me and getting behind. And really, it's not my event, this is our event. And hopefully they're as proud of it as what I am. Thank you very much. I wanted to start with how we kind of all came together, really. As I mentioned probably at the start, UVMEXPO is an existing expo that we've run for a couple of years prior to this one. It was a lot simpler than what this has been. And so the plan was always to try and do an expo this year. And obviously, Becky joined me this year as a director on Unique Venues in Manchester. So I had at least one supporter on board. During lockdown, we was working with Nathan on delivering a number of virtual networking events for both Unique Venues of Manchester members and for chamber members as a joint approach to talk about what the impact of our industry and what we could learn throughout that. So a lot of what we were doing in that virtual networking sessions actually made a lot of sense to kind of transfer into a potential hybrid event. So hence I managed to convince Nathan to get on board, which was really good. The lovely Caroline, who is there virtually, had previously worked on an expo with me, and I'd convinced her to speak at an expo previously. So I was really kind of keen if she would join us, and lo and behold, she did. This Michael, who is also virtual, there he is, who has been our behind-the-scenes man all day today. Is obviously the production side. And, you know, without these amazing guys, and what you can't see is what I'm looking at, which is 5 guys at the back of the room, looking at cameras, dealing with video mixing, sound, lighting, that have all helped to deliver this production. Absolutely couldn't happen without that man and his team. So a big, huge thank you to those guys as well. So, yeah. And last but not least is Susan Brogan. And Susan and I met through something that shouldn't be as stressful as what we've been doing today. So the lovely Laura from Stress Matters, very early on, wasn't it, in lockdown, set up a buddy scheme for people in the industry where you could sign up and you were buddied up with someone just to really to be able to talk about the industry, engage with someone that kind of could listen to your woes to a certain extent, and just also just kind of be there just as another sounding board. And Susan and I were buddied up, which was really incredible. And then, you know, during our conversations, I mentioned, oh, we'd like to try and do a hybrid event. Would you like to get involved? And lo and behold, I convinced this amazing lady to get involved as well in doing it. So the first thing I would say, what have we learnt, or what have certainly I learnt? Collaboration is key. Yeah, these people have helped collaborate with me to help deliver this event. Finding those right partnerships and finding the right people to work with, without question, is my number one piece of advice in terms of delivering not just virtual events, hybrid events, but live events as well. So I don't know if you guys have got anything in terms of the collaboration side to add.
Yeah, I think we've been planning this since June.
Yeah.
And we've had to change the date a few times.
Yeah.
I think I thought doing an event like this would probably just be a case of me and an AV company, but I did not realise how much was involved and how important your team is behind you, and constant communication as well.
Yeah, those weekly Zoom calls.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Becky, anything?
Yeah, in terms of collaboration, I guess the importance of it, because all of our functions can't sit alone. Of course, they can't, and they all feed into each other. Definitely when you're selling and marketing, experiences, events, hospitality. So just to reiterate the importance of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, second that. I mean, I really second the importance of working with a company like Captive North and Keith as well, and the team over there that you can't see, because you will have felt it today. You'll all feel it. But from a venue, AV, if you do it yourselves, if you attempt to do it yourselves, is one of the most stressful things. And when it becomes a hybrid event, it's another layer of stress on top. So having that sort of key relationship, someone you can trust who can make things run seamlessly. But, the whole gang is to have every piece is important.
Yeah. Michael?
Yeah, I think working with you guys, working with the team, I think working with the likes of Susan and the others to actually get the content together. So from our side, from myself and Keith, we're good in terms of actually the technological side of plugging things in, this cable here, and actually creating something. But actually having good content, good engagement, good people to actually just listen to makes an event. So actually having all these wonderful people coming together to actually give the time up for free to come and present and speak, that's fantastic. Even we've got UTC events who are going to do some performance later on this afternoon for us, which is really nice, just having everyone to say, yeah, I'll come and do this sounds great. Everyone's been stuck in lockdown. All my freelancers have been asking me at the back of the room. I said, I'm sorry, it's something we're doing ourselves, I can't pay you a huge amount. And there's like, it's great, it's a gig. Just to point out, there's one guy at the back of the room, Pete Lomax. It's his birthday today. His actual birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yeah. Happy birthday, mate. Thanks.
Yeah, how to embarrass an AV tech. And Caroline, what's your...
Yeah, I'll just repeat what everybody said, really, about collaboration. And it's about different skill sets and bringing them to the table. I think somebody said earlier on in the event about, you can't know everything. This is a whole new area and not everybody knows everything, but bringing people together that have different expertise and different specialisms brings it together. And I think that as a team, we've all worked, considering I've never met Susan in the flesh, I've never met Michael in the flesh, I've never met Nathan in the flesh, but I feel like we've all worked brilliantly as a team just by using the Zoom meetings. But I think the skills have complemented each other, and that's been what's pulled it all together, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. And then I suppose the next stage for us was the platform to deliver this. I'm head of operations at Larry, so operator, no problem at all. Agency, marketing, venue, agency, we kind of knew how to do the event. But hold on a second, now we need to deliver this on a platform and deliver it hybrid, so it's live and virtual. Where do we go? And Michael, probably I'll go to you the most on this. We researched about 8 different platforms before we decided the platform that we wanted. And each platform, I can't say that there is one platform out there that is kind of the perfect platform. I think for us, Swapcard was right because it had the nice balance between being something where we could set up the conference and have exhibitors and the interconnection and networking. By their very name, Swapcard was about business swapping cards, as in business cards. So, they evolved their business in that way. And that worked really well for us. There was plenty of other ones out there that could do a good job. The only other side of it as well, at the moment, I think it's quite fragmented out there in terms of the platforms, and pricing is very, very different. My vision for the future, I think, is that we'll start to see some of the platforms starting to rise to the top as market leaders. And I think where some do this and some do that, I think eventually these platforms will do it all. And I would imagine as they kind of go, oh, they do that really well, we'll do that as well, and that type of thing. So I think we'll see an evolution in terms of platforms. But certainly for me, once we got the platform and started to learn about the platform and starting to use the platform. So as Chris may have alluded to earlier, I've actually not used any of their internal support that they had available for the platform. I've tried to do it off our own backs and learn from it. And I know Michael certainly has in terms of the video production link side of things. Have you guys, I know obviously Michael and I led a little bit on the platform, but was there anything from your side that you found really useful or important about the platform? Becky?
Yeah, well, I wasn't too involved in choosing the platform, but just to reiterate that today we've had so much great feedback from live exhibitors, virtual exhibitors, and attendees about how great Swapcard is. So it seems like you picked the right one.
Don't think I realised how many platforms there were out there. I had no idea. There are hundreds. So I can imagine that it's a bit of a minefield trying to pick the right platform, but Swapcard's been seamless today.
Cool. Nathan, anything?
Yeah, I think in terms of what we needed to do today and what the platform you went to was perfect. I mean, you looked at other ones, like you say, I did a lot of research when we started, and the price differential between different providers, but it seems that this has worked fantastically well.
Yeah. Michael, from a technical point of view, go on, spill the beans.
Yeah, no, Swapcard is a really nice platform. There's some really nice features in it. Me and Matthew, we went through so many different ones. I've tried, I've tested, he's right on the price. Some of them go from as little as 20 cents per person, all the way up to, if you want to use it, you've got to buy a license for the entire year at £16,000. And when you're trying to put on a one event and you got told, no, you need to pay 16 grand, you're like, okay, maybe not. But the platform itself is really strong. It's really stable. The YouTube integration, which is what we've been using to stream with, is fantastic. I always tell my clients, whenever we're doing an event, we're doing a live stream, let's just use YouTube. People go, oh, it's YouTube. It's not professional, Dacast and all the other players. But YouTube is massive. Their servers are impressive. If YouTube goes down, most of the internet probably goes down at the same time. And being able to live stream to YouTube, which is something we've done in the past, I know how to do very easily and do a really good quality stream. Embedding that into Swapcard, it's even like the other night, we're trying to figure out how are we going to manage all the different streams in different rooms so they all start and end at the same time. YouTube had the answer, and it was a very simple solution that we set up, and caused us no drama, and it was great, once it all working. So what I've been doing behind the scenes here is I've just been starting and stopping the relevant YouTube streams at the right time. That Swapcard picks up, and it's worked first time, no problems. And unlike Matthew, I've still got my hair. I've not stressed out from it.
My hair loss is nothing to do with the stress, I promise you. And Caroline, have you got anything to add at all?
Other than I'm eternally grateful that Michael and yourself picked up most of the hard work on the platform, because I sat through the demo for Swapcard and it's mind-blowing trying to get your head around how to get it all to work. So I cannot thank them enough for doing that and for persevering and getting the right one, because it has been brilliant. Being at home today, I've used it the same from a virtual experience, and I have to say, I found it a brilliant audience user experience too. So I think, if someone was looking for the right platform, maybe that's a shout out, is look at something that not only works technically, but it's something that is user friendly, and have that hat on as well as you look, because obviously, it's great if a platform's brilliant and it works brilliant, but if users can't navigate the way around it, you're going to get terrible feedback. But I think, for me, it's been pretty easy to use, and technically you've smashed it. So brilliant job.
Fab. I mean, a couple of other things from me in terms of the platform, coming at it from a cold point of view. There is the integration with a number of registration systems. We obviously used, for you guys to register, was Eventbrite. So the registration was on Eventbrite, and actually it was very easy then to link Eventbrite to the platform. What the platform then offered is a selection of templates in terms of emails. So there was an invitation email that you all got in order to be able to log on. If someone then registered on Eventbrite, they were brought into the platform straight away. And from there, they automatically received that invitation invite. So just that alone was one of my big fears. How do I make sure I'm communicating with all the attendees? And actually Swapcard had the answer for me on that side of things. Push out notifications, things like that. And my favorite thing at the moment is the analytics. So as an organizer, I can see behind the scenes in terms of the analytics. A big shout out to Sharon from the Kimpton Clocktown Hotel, who is our best networker of the day. So well done, Sharon, in terms of making those connections. But it's really some useful information that we'll try and share as well through our social media platforms after the event as well. So, we were been very fortunate to choose a really good platform, and hopefully you found it as user-friendly as what we have as organizers. Moving on in terms of kind of, I suppose, creating content and that content. Any pearls of wisdom? And we kind of, it evolved, I think, is the big thing with the content, wasn't it? And then obviously engaging the right speakers. And, I think, again, a huge thank you to all of our speakers and panelists today, and particularly our amazing hosts as well on that side of things. But Susan, anything?
I think each of us involved in the organisation brought something to the table as to the content. So from my point of view, it was very much about the events industry as a whole, the future of that, where it was going, where we are now, what the future held for that, really.
Yeah. And you brought an awful lot of speakers with you as
Yeah,
well.
I did
Your
my
little
best,
black book
yeah.
is invaluable on that side of things. Beck?
I think the content evolved as everyone's feelings evolved around the pandemic. The conversations that we had on those initial networking sessions with the chamber, conversations on social, we all kind of came together every week and thought, let's put this into the event, or what about this? Has anyone thought about this?
And the situation kept changing as the
So
time
I think
went on
the
as well.
uncertainty was obviously a challenge and a bit negative, but it also helped and was a bit of a positive as well, and it helped scope the conversations that we wanted here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to go in the same order. I'm going to skip to Caroline just for a bit of variety. Caroline?
Well, I think, only repeating what everyone said and probably just reinforcing the industry and professionals that we are as a whole, we're very agile. So, one week we'd have an agenda, and then the next week the government will have changed policy, things would change, and we'd go, actually, we need to get a perspective on that because it's very relevant and it needs to be covered. And luckily, like you say, people had connections, especially Susan with her little black book, which was fantastic. And we were able to pull the right people in, whether it was by video or live on the day or virtually, to cover off those perspectives. But there's nothing like last minute changes and a bit of flexibility, thanks to Boris and his team, to keep us all on our toes, really. So.
But that's what we live for, isn't it? It's what we do.
It is. It's what we do. It's what we do.
Yeah. Nathan, anything on?
Yeah, no, just the. I think what I would say is that we had a lot of time, didn't we, to sort of plan this together, starting from those networking sessions. I'd be interested to see us do it in the sort of typical time that you plan an event, so that we've got maybe 3 weeks to 3 or 4 weeks to do it. But having that time, having those meetings really helped with the content and helped it to sort of grow and stuff. I thought it was a really interesting day.
Fantastic. Okay. Couple of questions that I kind of want to put to everybody is, what's the biggest thing you've learned through this process? I'm going to start with you, Susan.
Well, I think the fact that I can now tell my clients I've run a hybrid event from scratch, something I never thought I would be doing or be able to do, but I can now shout out that it's doable with the right team behind you. It's a very good bridge to live when that eventually comes back, and there's probably always going to be a place for it, I think.
Yeah.
But just being able to say I have now done it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Is great for me.
Nathan?
Yeah, I think just learning that hybrid is actually is possible, and it's something that, like you say, is a sort of actual real bridge to physical events and will be here forever. I think watching it today, I watched most of it virtually, and I was so impressed with the experience that you got through that. So I think that's the biggest takeaway for me today. Yeah, that it's possible, and we should do it. We should get doing it now and do it more often.
Yeah, absolutely. Becky?
My biggest learning curve, or what have I learned the most, is the fact that this industry is amazing, like absolutely incredible. I absolutely love selling, marketing, PRing experiences, and that's exactly what we've done collectively. Yes, we've had to change what those experiences are because of what's happened, but we've still done it. We've still achieved it, and
not just created an event. I think we've created an experience.
I mean, I always knew I loved the industry, but more than ever so, like how agile everyone is, the people, the passion. So
Fab. Caroline, what's your biggest?
100% agree with Becky on what an amazing sector we've got. The amount of people have been willing to put time in, put thoughts in, help, find speakers, contact speakers for us has just been incredible, and it just is testament to what a fantastic sector we've got. Biggest learning curve for me is, it is a bit like learning a new job. The things that you worry about on an event of, will the tea and coffee be out on time or this, it's completely different set of worries. So you are sort of learning a new job. And I would say to anybody looking to do it, do not underestimate how much time you need to plan it and how much resource it takes. It is not, even though it's a bridge to life, it's not a quick fix. If you want to do it well and do it so it is an experience, don't underestimate the resource you need and the time that it takes.
Yeah, I would certainly reiterate that in terms of, I've been very fortunate that I'm on furlough from the Lowry. If I hadn't been, I'm not sure I would have been able to pull this. It's almost been a full-time job for quite some time to try and pull this together. So really don't underestimate that planning time and then that project management side of things. And Michael, anything to add from your perspective? Your biggest learning?
Biggest learning is, well, first of all, learning new software and learning it fast. I've demonstrated, I've tried out numerous different platforms. So it's a case of, the biggest thing I've had is to try and remember which platform was which and which feature was on which platform. I was like, oh, that's on this one. No, wait, that's on this one. Okay, right. Trying to understand that in my head. And I echo in terms of the content, it's found the pre-planning time. One thing that I've learned both from running virtual and now our first hybrid event is how much more time has got to be put in at the start just for planning out who's going when, if we're doing pre-records, when we're recording those, when we can get those edited, when we get those turned around. We did some really large jobs recently, which had people all across the world. So we had, at one point at 4 a.m, I was recording a session with someone from America on the West Coast and someone from Japan. So then also trying to balance. It's not like a normal event where you can throw your resources in one day. You've actually got more time to plan it, more time to get people booked in. So then you've got it's more of a long game actually rather than a short, quick, right, here's the event, bang, off we go, right, on to the next one. It's now much more forward planning on that one.
Yeah, again, I would agree in terms of the kind of what we've tried to do with our event is try and give a taste of lots of different things. So we did do some pre-recordings just so you can see that you can do that and not everything has to come live. COVID in its own right has caused where we've had to have Caroline virtually and Lee as well was virtual because of that self-isolation side of things. So, my, I suppose, learning was about making sure you've got plan A boxed off, but you've got plan B and you've got plan C and you've got plan D just on case. And I think we knew that quite early on. So even though it's been a learning curve, it's something that, again, is all part of that project management and resource and planning, really. So fab. So our last thing, because I'm obviously conscious of the time, is the golden nugget that we can share with these lovely people about that we would say this is the one thing that you should take away from today. I'm going to start with you, Michael, because you're on the screen.
Thanks. The first thing that I would say with any virtual event or any hybrid event is a good network connection. If you're broadcasting from a location, you've got to have a good connection. And it's the same with all your speakers. No good internet, you're really, really going to struggle actually putting on a really good show. Once you've decided on the platform, that's also a big step because then you can then start to plan out, this is how we're going to do it. So once you know what the platform is, right, so this is the content we're going to need to create. These are different sessions. This is how we're going to set everything up. I mean, with Keith's session early on, we was talking more about the technical side of things, and he was hinting at, we've got to focus first of all on this session and build out from it, build your event. I would also say you kind of need to do both at the same time. You need to think about how is it going to work for the people on site, but then off site, and how does the platform tie into both? Because if you don't have a good platform that links everyone together, you're going to with two segregated audiences that don't interact with each other, and it's not going to create a good hybrid event. So yeah, timing, good network connection, thinking about your platform early, and then how you're going to join those audiences together.
Brilliant. And Caroline?
I think don't be scared, because the tech is there, the expertise is there, but don't be afraid to ask for help or to go to the right people to get the right help to deliver it well. If you compare it to a live event, if you were an event planner or a venue, you wouldn't rig your own set and you wouldn't put your own projector up and sort your own lighting. So this is no different. It is all there, and there are people there to help. The ideas are there, the creativity is there. Just really think about what you're trying to do and how you need to do it, and get the right people involved as early as you can to bring it all together, make your life easier.
Excellent. Susan?
I think the pre-planning process is probably a bit longer than a live event, and you really need to give it the time it takes, but with the right team behind you with different areas of expertise. I think when it comes to the day, it just runs, if you've done it right with your pre-planning and your team, it just runs seamlessly on the day, as hopefully it has today.
Fab. Yeah, absolutely. Becky?
From a marketing perspective, I guess, for this event specifically, it was around sharing our objectives of what we wanted to achieve, and the fact that we were showcasing how hybrid could work for the industry. We're trying to help the industry. And obviously in marketing for events, it's always kind of why people would want to come along or attend virtually. So that was a key part, I think, for this event specifically, just telling people that this is what we wanted to achieve. Yeah, and we obviously pushed that out through various different mediums.
Yeah, the comms was an interesting discussion, wasn't it, in terms of timing, in terms of delivery, and in terms of message on that side of things.
And being flexible, I think, as well.
And being
change the date a lot of times.
Absolutely
we
flexible.
first wanted to do this in July, I think.
Yeah,
and
we've been wanting to do it forever almost. Yeah. Nathan?
Yeah, so from a venue perspective, I think not much changes, though, that you should, I mean, everyone said it, but it's just sort of realisation that, yes, this event is part hybrid. You're not going to have anywhere near as many people on site to manage as normal, but don't let that fool you into thinking that the time for planning and the level of detail of thought that needs to go into it is just as great, which was a bit of a learning curve for us here at the venue, just coming to terms with that, and just surround yourself with good people and a good AV company. Very, very important, I think.
And I suppose it's probably what we've said a few times now, is about working with people. And at Unique Venues in Manchester, we have a great set of venues that we work with. And obviously for me, trying to put this together, I needed exhibitors and I needed my members to get on board with it. So I want to thank them very much for getting on board. I think then, talking again about partnerships, yes, the six of us have pulled this together, but it goes beyond that in terms of all the other partnerships we've got. Shout out to Gusto and to UTC, who are doing this evening, and our hotel partners that have helped accommodate our speakers, and all of these other people that have helped pull this together. It's vast. I suppose my one thing to say is I'm a venue boy, and I've now had a taste of what event planning's like. And I now kind of have a bigger respect for event planners than I had before. Obviously, event planners have always been my clients, and obviously had a huge respect for them. But I think now, planning my own event, I've got a much bigger admiration for them and for everything that you guys do in terms of for our industry. And I suppose I'd just reiterate, get the right platform. Find the right platform that's for you. I'm not saying Swapcard is the right platform. I'm saying find the right one for you. There's a few out there. I would obviously always recommend Swapcard now, given the success we've had on it. So I think that's it. And then unless anyone else got anything else they wanted to add, obviously we can ask questions to our lovely audience. Anybody got any questions?
I had some questions coming in from the virtual audience, Matthew.
I can check on our virtual audience. Is there some? Can you share them?
One question we've had is a techie question, which I'm more than happy to answer, which is, how are you switching between online presenters and live? Just by zooming in on the screen with video camera, or is this a software feature? So I'll keep this brief because I know time's against us. So we are using Zoom right now, but what we're doing is we're bringing that into our vision mixer, which we're then able to switch between Zoom and our live cameras we've got in the room. And then we've cleverly programmed in on Zoom so that instead of it being off the onboard camera on the laptop that's actually running it, is actually a video signal we're sending back. So right now, me and Carolyn are here, but we can actually hear and see everything that's being streamed out on Zoom. And that's how we've been able to actually link up virtual audience and live audience, which worked wonders. I mean, I was a little bit surprised that, well, not surprised, but when Carolyn couldn't come in, it was like, okay, so we're going to now have to have a virtual host. Right, let's see how this goes. And it worked really well. So I'm really quite happy that worked.
Brilliant. Any other questions on the platform at all?
With Facebook blocking pages for music, what about music at your event? So this comes down to more of a broadcasting issue. Generally, you would have a PRS license at your venue to be able to play out commercial tracks. As soon as you do anything online, you've then got to have permission for that music track to be broadcast. The way we get around it is we use royalty-free music. So that is music that we've purchased, we bought the license for, and therefore won't be blocked by YouTube or Facebook. So that's how we've managed to get around. If your client really wants a commercial track playing, well, you can, but then you've got to get the licenses off just going straight to get a royalty-free track.
Cool. Any others on there that are perhaps less technical that we could? No? Cool. Any other questions from the audience? No? Fabulous. Thank you very much.
I think we need to thank you as well, Matthew, because this was your brainchild at the end of the day. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. So this is our kind of final presentation session. I hope you have taken a lot out of it. Final thank you to all of our partners that are obviously listed on the platform, so please go check out those. Thank you to all of our speakers for their time and effort and contribution. Thank you to all of our exhibitors. Without them, this wouldn't happen. And obviously to all of you, both our lovely, amazing, lovely to see and engage with live audience and our wish you were here virtual audience. So thank you to all of those. There is one final session that is a little bit more relaxing, where there'll be some nice music played live and a glass of wine that will be socially distanced available in our last breakout room. And obviously our virtual audience might necessarily be able to engage with the wine that's here, but I'm sure if they were to go to their own fridges or raid their own cupboard, they could grab a drink of their own and then listen to the music. And if not, just watch us have a good time. And on that note, thank you so much. And I wish you all well. Thank you.
Thank you.